Okay, 7th graders. So in lesson 2.1, we just reviewed the commutative and the associative properties of multiplication and addition. And we reviewed the the multiplicative identity property. So any number times 1 is itself. Any number plus 0 is itself. That's why it's called the identity property. Okay? Now, what would you do if you saw a number outside of parentheses? What would you do? What do the parentheses tell you to do?
Multiply.
They tell you to multiply, right. But if there are two numbers or three numbers or three terms or two terms that are being added or subtracted inside of the parentheses, then you have to do something called distributing that number. Okay? And so I like to think of it like as a card dealer distributes the same number of cards to each player in a game. That's how you can remember the distributive property. What you do is you distribute the number by multiplying over the parentheses, multiplying each number in the parentheses by the number outside of it. Okay? Now, why can't we just add these numbers first? There's another concept here that you have to think about. Why can't we just add like 2a plus b?
Because they just have a bigger multiplication problem to do.
Well, yes, that's true. But there's an important rule in algebra.
Because we don't know what A and B means.
Right, because we don't know what A and B are. And so we can't add them together because they are not alike. Okay? It's A's like, let's say that A's stand for apples. And B's stand for bananas. Okay? Those are different fruits. They're different. You can't add them together. Okay? You can only add things that are alike. So if they were all apples or all bananas, then you could add them together and then multiply. But if you just have, apples and bananas, then you can't add them together. But you can multiply them. You could get twice as many apples and twice as many bananas. And that's what the distributive property says. You just multiply each group by the number outside of parentheses. So 2 times 2a is 4a. Like, if there were 2 apples in here and we multiplied that by 2, then we'd have 4 apples. Does that make sense? So 2a times 2 is 4a. Because 2 times 2 equals 4. Well, we're not adding the a. We are multiplying the number of a's that are in there. Like if we have 2 apples in there, and we multiply that 2 by 2, now we have 4 apples in there. 4 a's. Okay?
Would you do like 4 times a? And then that'd be 4 times 2, this is 2 apples, and then that would equal 8.
There's 2 a's.
Yeah.
Times 2 is 4 a's. 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 a's times 2 is 4 a's.
Oh.
And if we have 1 banana and we multiply that by 2, we double it. Now we have 2 bananas. So 2 times b is 2 b's. And you can really think of it, I said like b's as with the plural form. That's how you can think of a's and b's and n's and things like that. This is 2 n's. Alright? It literally means that, 2 n's. Okay? Look at this one. 2 times n plus 6. If it's 2 times n plus 6, then you multiply the 2 times the n and the 2 times the 6. 2 times n is 2 n's, and 2 times 6 is 12.
And that's your answer?
And that's the answer. Now, why can't we add these together? 2n plus 12. Does this mean, can we add 2n plus 12?
Nope.
No, because they're not alike. These are n's. N might stand for nibs, crackers. And these are just $12 or whatever, okay? And when you have two different items, you cannot add them together. These are called terms, and these are not like terms. Now, I gave you a worksheet that we're going to practice. So start on the reteaching side. We're going to talk more about terms and like terms tomorrow. Let's go through the reteaching side together. I want you to skip down to, well, first of all, you can take a look at the top section. 12 times 5 plus 9. What that's saying is that we can do 12 times 5 plus what times 9? What would go in the blank, number 1? 12. 12 times 5 plus 12 times 9. Number 2. That one has a 7 outside of parentheses on the right side. And that says 3 minus 8. Now, does it matter if the 7 is on the right side or the left side? No, it still means multiply. And it still means multiply by everything inside. But let me ask you this. Is this a negative 8 or a positive 8? Would you multiply 7 times negative 8 or 7 times positive 8? Negative, yeah. All right? Because the sign in front of the number always tells you if the number is positive or negative. The sign in front of the number should tell you if it's positive or negative. So, the sign in front of this number is negative. So this is a negative 8. And when we multiply this, we would do 7 times 3 plus 7 times what? Tyler? 7 times 8, but that's not 8, it's
Negative 8.
I circled the negative. See? The number, or the sign in front of the number tells you if it's positive or negative. So this isn't 8, it's negative 8. Okay? 7 times 3 plus 7 times negative 8. Yes?
What is the last number 4?
And number 4. You're skipping ahead. Let's do number 3 first. Okay? Number 3. This one looks a little bit different again. What do we actually do here? So is this a positive B or negative B? What's the sign in front of the B?
Negative B. Negative C.
So what do we have to put in front of this? Plus. Plus. Then we multiply 3 times A plus 3 times negative B negative 3b plus 3 times,
Negative C.
Miss Mosky, I can't find the worksheet. Mr. Mons. Oh, Mr. Monsky. That's not what the worksheet is doing. It says z times a, and then it says minus z times.
oh, it's z, not 3. I wrote that wrong.
And it's not supposed to go into the negative because you put the z before the b, it says.
How do we get this?
Yeah, these blanks are confusing. Let's skip down to number 6.
So we're not doing the upper part?
So we're not doing the upper part. Let's skip down to number 6. This is how we're really going to use this when we're solving, okay? This is how we're really going to use this when we're solving equations, which is what we're learning how to do. We're going to be learning some of the fundamentals, or some of the core ideas, like properties of numbers, the distributive property. All of this is going to be helping you to simplify and solve equations. So, let's look at this one. 4 times x plus 5. What does that help? What does that do? Or what should we do with this? Four times x plus 5. How do we simplify this? Can we do anything to this? Why, yes, we can do something over the parentheses. Nate?
4 times x.
4 times x, which is
4.
4x. So on the line, write 4x.
Plus.
And then put the plus sign. And draw the other arrow because we have to multiply the 4 times everything, times all the terms in the parentheses. So we have to do 4 times 5 also. What's 4 times 5? 20. So this is the answer. This is simplified. That's what was on the line. Number 7. 6 minus m times negative 4. And this negative 4 is in parentheses. It doesn't have to be. But what it's showing is that this is not minus 4, it's times negative 4. So, what should we do now? Does it matter if this 4 is on the left or the right side? It still means multiplication, right? So Tate, what should we do? What's the first thing we should do? 6 plus negative m, right? This is plus negative m. Okay? The minus sign in front of the m makes the m a negative. Now what?
4 times 6.
Okay, is this 4 or negative 4? Remember the minus sign in front of the number, so it's
Negative 4. And
Negative 4.
Negative 24.
this is negative 24 plus.
4x.
Now, what do we multiply the negative 4 by? By m. What number do we use when we're multiplying? Because when you're multiplying, you have to multiply two numbers together. What number can we put in front of this? Read
1.
1. Yep. Anytime there's not a number there, it means that there's one m. Or in this case, it's negative 1m. So anytime you see a negative variable, negative n, negative x, negative a, all of those are one of them. So you could just think, put a 1 in front of that. So you treat that as a 1 or a negative 1. Okay? Peter?
Wouldn't it be, so negative 24 minus, wouldn't it be negative 4m?
Well, then we do negative times negative, which makes it
No, yeah.
positive 4.
So, but wouldn't you not change it, the m to a negative then? It'll just be negative 24 minus negative 4m normally?
Oh, what is minus minus?
Positive. Yeah, but then the m wouldn't be negative.
Correct. At the end, it's not. Which is why you want to multiply negative times negative. Okay? Does that make sense? Otherwise, you end up with negative 4m. And then you have to rewrite it again as 4m. Okay? Number 8. Liv, do you have a question?
Yes, for number 8, would you change it to 1?
Alright, let's go to number 8. As soon as my computer starts working again. Alright. Number 8. S times negative 6 plus t. When I write a t, you guys, in math, I try to curve it, otherwise it looks like a plus sign. Okay? So if I write t like that, that looks like a plus sign to me. So I write t's in math like that. T's look the same. One of them has a... So just so that might be helpful to you at some point. Now, how do you multiply s times a number? Can you multiply s times something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. S times negative 6 is the same as negative 6 times s because of the commutative property. So this answer is the same. Whether you're doing, Andreas, why are you interrupting me? Negative 6 times s or s times negative 6 is the same answer, isn't it? It's negative 6s. Now also when you're making s's, you can either put a little dash there to show that it's an s. Try not to make it like that because that looks like a 5. Yep. Another little nugget for you. A little line through it. Sometimes you'll see the s's with a little line through it. So this is negative 6s plus s times t.
Wait. Wouldn't it be TS?
TS, ST. I don't know why, but normally mathematicians will put letters in alphabetical order. Not that you have to do that, but you'll see like B times A as written as AB, or ABC, or ABCD, or and formulas like L times W is written, like length times width is written LW, not WL, because they a lot of times will put the letters in alphabetical order.
Would it be funny if I just put in TS?
No, it wouldn't.
Why?
If you use X for times, is that okay?
No.
Like if you did S times T.
That could be an X.
Yeah, some of you got that wrong on your test.
You
You
gotta put a
accidentally
dot.
put an X there. Don't use X for times, okay? Remember that. X means a number now. It doesn't mean the time sign. So use parentheses, use a dot, or in this case, you can just put the letters together. Okay? How about these brackets? Number 11. What in the world does this mean? Come on, computer.
know what that might mean.
First of all, what do brackets do? Yeah.
Like the pairs of parentheses, like you can have two pairs of parentheses inside, but they're still parentheses.
They're just like parentheses. It's just another, I don't know why, again, they use brackets instead of parentheses sometimes. They work exactly the same. Alright, you can just write parentheses, parentheses, -7 if you want it. But it's given to you as brackets. Treat them like parentheses. Now, what's this extra set of parentheses in here for? At the multiplication, except that there is a minus y, and there's not another here. This would mean multiply these, but since there is not parentheses around the second one, this means plus negative.
Just one.
And then you put the 1 in. Good. Now we're getting there. Yep. So, is there anything more we can simplify inside? Can we add these together? Andreas,
Yeah.
focus. You're not even on the right page. We're not on the back. We're on number 11. Come on. Armand, is there anything more we can add here? No, why not? Can we add -7 minus 1y or plus -1y? No, they're not the same. Okay, these are yaks and these are just the -7. Can't add those. Y can stand for yaks. Did everybody get that? Just do that. Y can stand for anything, but it's not -7. So we have to multiply. Andreas, what'd you get?
-63
Good.
plus -9y.
Plus -9y. Very good. Yep. Keep the plus sign. Positive times negative is negative. Positive times negative is negative. Okay? So, finish that side. Finish 6 through 11. Skip 1 through 5. Then,
Just outside.
on the other side, look at this. We're going to do 1 through 8, and you get to skip 9 through 19. But in 1 through 8, first of all, in 1 and 2, they give you these. Let's see. Let me do this. They give you these models. All right? Now, what you can do is try to find where the pattern repeats. And you'll notice that this group repeats, and this group repeats, and this group repeats. So it's like taking this group and multiplying it by 3, right? So we're multiplying something by 3. 3 times, right? 3 times with the parentheses. Now, what is this group? What does that even mean? Well, in algebra, these long ones are the ends. They're the numbers we don't know. So each of these refers to an n, a number. That's the variable. Okay? The little ones are positive ones. So now, how can we write the n's? Whoops, there's 4 of them. So how do you write 4 n's as a term?
Wait, I think you do.
You raise your hand. Wait for some other people. How would you write 4 n's as a math term? 2 people know. 3 people. 4.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, Matt?
I think it's like 4n.
Yeah, it's just 4n.
And then
You write
plus-
4n. And then plus two single, just two, or n plus 2. Yep. Now, when you multiply that, how many n's do you end up with? How many total n's are there in the whole model? 12, right? You can tell by the numbers and you can count them up. How many single ones are there in the whole model?
6.
How many single ones are there in the whole model? Well, 3 times 2 would be 6. And if you counted them up, you would get 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is showing this expression explains this model, or this model explains this expression. Okay? Do the same thing for this one. Circle the groups, and then write an expression for it.
Is that what
And then do 3 through 8
would this
on this side.
Would that
Okay.
be- would that one? That's what I would do.